From Texas Weather Tracker TV, this is a Texas Weather Alert.
All right, folks, this is another live Texas Weather Alert here. William Cole in the Texas Weather Tracker TV Forecast Center. So we continue to track severe weather off to the northwest of the Metroplex. This isn't our general coverage area here, but again, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex being right back down in here. There have been a few scattered showers that have been trying to lift up into the Metroplex. We'll take a closer look at that coming up momentarily, but at least right now for your evening commute, the Metroplex, again, looking dry, looking okay. It's all been about what's going on up here to the northwest. And in fact, you know, we were talking about this storm, and we'll go and kind of zoom in on that and switch radar sources, or we can just zoom in there, Josh, that's fine. We've been talking about this storm that's had some fairly vigorous rotation with it, and it had a fairly vigorous mesocyclone. We just got a confirmation that there was a possible tornado about 10 minutes ago. The Weather Service, they're not issuing a tornado warning on it, but they're putting a tag on there saying a tornado is possible with this storm. Now, the general motion is up here towards Archer City. Now, we've got storm trackers here. We're going to be looking at their video and talking with them coming up momentarily. But let's go back to the spin rate. And again, this is in Ford County. And so it's this area right down in here that we've been really the most concerned about. Now, the tornado, or the report of the tornado, it was brief. And again, they're saying it was maybe only seconds long. Let's go to velocities. And as we take a look at that, you can still see where this is wrapped up. Now, it's not as impressive as it was maybe 5 minutes ago. And Josh, I don't know if we can maybe stair step this back just a couple frames. And this thing was really wrapped up. And so right here, this is one of our, and really this one right here, where we have the ultra tight little couplet and kind of some high velocity wind here as well. So green is towards the radar. This radar is up around the Wichita Falls area. Red is away from the radar. So that was the area of spin right there. And again, most likely with this frame right here, again, caught in time, that's when we had the brief spin up. So again, we just have a report from the Weather Service, a possible brief spin up. And again, that was about 10, maybe 15 minutes ago. And again, this was in southern Ford County. Let's go back to live, and this may be live now. And okay, so as we're looking at this, the main area of concern where we actually have the inflow coming into the storm, there's still a lot of precipitation coming up into this. And so I think this is going to continue to kind of wind down. It got pretty ramped up there, obviously producing maybe that brief tornado. But again, the inflow, this notch right here you're seeing, this is the storm breathing warm air in. But again, you can see now we're getting a lot of precipitation, rain-cooled air in front of it. And again, a lot of times when that happens, the storm itself begins to kind of spin on down. And that may be what's happening here. But there's still some hail with it as we look at the hail core tracker. And again, there may still be an opportunity here as we look at the hail core tracker, or potentially even some $50 with this storm. Now, I think the hail core was coming down some in size from where it was. And in fact, even as we're looking at it now, hail core nowhere near as impressive. And that is a direct indication of the mesocyclone beginning to spin on down. And again, the reason for that, again, it was that precipitation that was lifting up into the storm. So again, when we kind of had that clear slot, we were able to get some warm air into the storm. We got the vigorous mesocyclone that developed. Again, we had the brief touchdown about 10 to 15 minutes ago, lasted only a few seconds. Again, it was a brief touchdown. And again, now you can see the storm. It's really just pretty messy here. And so it's a completely different story with what we're dealing with now. So again, this is Ford County. This is up here in northwestern portions of our forecast area. And again, in general, this is tracking over here towards Archer City. Of course, the greater Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex will be down in here. So again, this is nowhere near the Metroplex right now. But again, this is a fairly decent wave here of rain and storms. And in fact, it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning, it does continue there for Ford County. And so we'll continue to track that. Now, what I want to do, I want to come over here to the trackers, and let's go and take a look at some of their video coming in. And it's so rural up there, it's hard to keep the video in, but we do have something coming in here. Now, this is going to be from Chris Barrows up there. And so, Chris, now you were just north of Archer City. You're up there around the Holiday area. I know you're coming back down towards Archer City. And again, we're just looking at your video coming in. So give us an update from your vantage point. Again, you know, we got the report from the Weather Service about 15 minutes ago now. Again, we had the brief spin up, brief possible tornado. Again, we had the enhanced mesocyclone there where we were beginning to get the bigger hail. But again, your eyes are on it. Go ahead and give us an update from your vantage point there.
We ran
And we may be losing Chris. It's so rural up there. He's doing the best he can, but again, he's just kind of in the middle of nowhere. And so we'll go back over to radar. And so we've got 2 storm trackers up there. We're just having trouble, again, really keeping in contact with them. Again, going from Holiday to Archer City, the area that he's in, there's just essentially nothing there. If you're familiar with that area, you live up there, you know exactly what we're talking about. It's just hard to keep cell service again up in that area. Joe, I know you're on the live line with us here as well, and so it looks like they're going to reissue some severe thunderstorm warnings here on that. We'll take a look at that. We're just looking and seeing what they're doing from the Weather Service. Joe, you're also up there as well, and so here's your red dot. These are live GPS dots, and again, Joe's just northwest there of Jacksboro. Joe, if you're able to hear us, if you're able to stay on the live line with us, even though you're really rural too, tell us where you are now and give us an update from your location.
Okay, yeah, hi, William. So right now I'm just east of a little town called Alney and north of Graham. I'm starting to actually be able to see the storm off to my west. Can't really make much out just yet, but I am closing in on it. Still a little hazy. It's not quite as foggy as it was earlier. Everything's still a little damp and wet in this area. So we're going to get ourselves over to Alney and kind of sit and wait for this thing and let it kind of work its way toward us. Thank you, William.
Okay, really appreciate that update. Good job, Joe. And we'll be checking back in with Joe. We're going to be checking back in with Chris, again, coming up here momentarily as well. Again, like I said, they're just in really rural areas, and as soon as they kind of come within range, so to speak, we'll be able to get their video, again, punched up. And so really appreciate them, again, doing the best they can. So new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Throckmorton County. That's until 5 p.m. And so, again, this is going to be kind of this southern fringe. Let's switch, if we can, switch over to the other radar. And if we can switch over to that, Josh, and it kind of highlights that a little bit better. So this is the new warning down here. This is also until 5 o'clock. This is the other warning until 5 o'clock. Notice how both of these say tornado possible. So again, we just had the brief spin up about 15 minutes ago. And so again, the Weather Service not issuing a tornado warning, but they're doing what they call a tag, where they're tagging these warnings here as a tornado possible. And again, both of these being issued right now for some hail, quarter, $50 possible, again, with these. So let's just zoom out real quick, Josh. I just want to zoom out one more time here, just to show everybody where we're talking about. So obviously the bulk of our audience coming in from the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, DFW Metroplex down here. Right now it's quiet, nothing going on. So again, if you're watching us from the Metroplex, again, quiet, nothing going on right now. A couple showers off to the south. We're watching those. Nothing concerning right now there at all. And so everything we're talking about is off to the northwest here. It's essentially up around the Wichita Falls area down to the south. And so again, this is the area we're talking about. Severe thunderstorm warning here for Ford, Throckmorton County, both of those until 5 o'clock. And again, if you're just now joining us here on Texas Weather Tracker TV, we did have at least what appears to be a brief spin-up tornado. This is going on 20 minutes ago now. It was only on the ground for seconds, but we were kind of analyzing this on radar saying, hey, this storm is really spinning up. There's a fairly vigorous mesocyclone. And then we did get at least a report from the National Weather Service in Norman, who covers this area of, again, a potential spin up. And again, that was about 20 minutes ago now. They've only issued, with this storm here, they've only issued severe thunderstorm warnings, but they have tagged both warnings as, again, tornado possible with those. Now, it looked like the rotation was beginning to spin on down. Let's go back over to Mesoscan XR. And as we do that, we're going to zoom right on in to these storms here that we're talking about. And so let's go back to the spin rate. And the spin rate, this is something you see exclusively here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. You don't see this anywhere else in the Metroplex. What it is, it's a computer algorithm where the computer basically takes away the normal radar view and it looks for areas of spin, and it shows you exactly where you need to look. Now, this storm here, we're still getting a fairly strong indication of an area of spin. It's kind of elongated. A lot of times when you have an elongated area, see this area of green, how long it is? That a lot of times means the area of spin is weakening from where it was. That may be the case, again, from where it was kind of maximized about 20 minutes ago with that brief spin up. But let's also look at velocities here as well. And this is the raw wind within the storm. And I tell you, this is really trying to ramp back up and cycle back up. So when you're looking at velocities here, you're looking at two different things. And also for Chris and Joe, our trackers on the line, heads up for you guys on this here too. So whenever you're looking at this, the colors of this product, the green is wind towards the radar. And so this radar is up around the Wichita Falls area. Red is away. So again, you can see towards, away. That's the area of spin right there. And so again, that's what we're watching. And again, this is ramping up almost back up to the same level it was at, maybe 20 minutes ago when we had that brief spin up. Again, about 10 seconds just south of Seymour. Let's go back to the spin rate. And as we go back to the spin rate, again, we're going to continue to watch that. Looks like we have a new T-storm watch as well coming out until midnight. So we've got we're going to plot that, and we're going to look at that coming up as well. So we've got a lot going on, and this kind of looked like it could be a busy late afternoon. It's kind of turning into that. So we've got a new severe thunderstorm watch here as well. That's coming out until midnight. We're going to plot that and talk about it. But right now what we're watching and monitoring carefully, it's up here to the northwest. And again, it's this area of spin. This is what we call a mesocyclone. Again, tornadoes not necessarily favorable today, but they're not impossible, as we've already seen by the brief spin up. Again, it was 20 minutes ago, due south of Seymour. That was a report from the National Weather Service in Norman. And so again, because of the volatility today, the opportunity of severe weather, if you will, again, we have our storm trackers out. There's Chris Barrows, one of our storm trackers. There's Joe. You see his live red GPS dot. And so let's do this. Here's what I also want to do. Let's get them, let's take a look at their video and also talk to them as well. And hey Chris, let's see if we can get you back on the live line. First of all, I know you're right there. Joe's closing in from the east. He's almost there. And Chris, if you're on the live line, the area up there, it's just so rural. It's hard to keep these guys on the line. And we're looking to see if we can get your video punched back up, Chris. And it looks like we have it. So Chris, if you're on the line with us, tell us where you are now. If you're back to Archer City, and give us an update from your location, Chris. Go ahead.
All right, right now, William, we are just now north of Archer City. And we ran the south holiday, and we're running into some of the precip coming off the storm north of Archer City right now. But currently, that's about it. We're seeing some lightning flashes within the fog, but as of right now, nothing too serious at this time.
Okay, Chris, keep your eyes on it. The area of spin, it's really ramped back up. In fact, we just got another sweep coming in here. And so as we're taking a look at the spin rate, it's going to be crossing. And Joe, did you say you were in Olney? Joe, did you say you had already made it to Olney? Joe, one of our other storm trackers here on the live line with us as well. Joe, have you made it to Olney?
I'm approximately 4 to 5 miles outside of Albany at this time.
Okay, so Joe's right there. And Joe, we're still looking at this on radar. The latest sweep that just came in, it's looking a little more raggedy. I can tell you that. So this area of spin, it looked like it was kind of, again, beginning to kind of enhance again. Now, keep in mind, officially from the National Weather Service in Norman, this is their area. There hasn't been a tornado warning. Now, we did get a report 20 minutes ago due south of Seymour that we did have a brief spin up. What the Weather Service has done are these warnings you're seeing here for Ford and Throckmorton County until 5 p.m. They've tagged them saying tornado possible, meaning brief, quick spin up possible. And so this is the reason we're tracking this area of spin. And so Joe and Chris, both of our storm trackers, they're right there looking at it. Joe, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but again, you're right there in Olney. You're about 4 miles out of Olney. There's Joe's red GPS dot. So he's looking directly into this area of spin here. Joe, go and give us an update from your location. We'll see if your videos come back up.
Okay, so I am moving into some area of precipitation. Pretty light rain, nothing real significant. Visibility is still pretty good. I can see several miles ahead. No lightning or anything, no hail.
Where's that?
I'm working my way, like I said, I'm working my way to Albany and kind of figure out from there what we're going to do and try to watch that area the area you're talking about with the rotation. We're going to try to let this rain that's kind of above us now past us, work our way through that, and then sit and wait on that area rotation, see if we got anything that we can visibly make out with the clouds. Right now, looking at what we got, everything's pretty hazy, and it's hard to make out any cloud features right now.
Yeah, and that's the only problem, Joe. Just as I'm looking at radar here, you're kind of back behind this rain curtain. So again, here's Joe here. He's got this whole rain curtain here. There's really nothing more he can do with this rain curtain. You see here, all this precipitation here. The main area of spin is right back up in here. So I mean, it's going to be a little hard for Joe, visually. And again, we're checking on his feed. You just have to remember, folks, this is a really, really rural area, and right now we're not able to get their video in. As soon as it clicks in, maybe as Chris gets a little closer to Archer City, and Joe gets into Olney, you know, some of these, the video may kick back in, and if so, of course, we'll take it live. But right now, we've still got them on the phone. So we've got guys, again, you see the red dots moving, that's them driving, and again, trying to stay within position of this storm. But again, this is the area we're concerned about, the area of spin. Let's go back to the spin rate tracker real quick, Josh, if we can. We also have the new severe thunderstorm watch. It's coming out right now. They're plotting it. As soon as it's plotted, it's in effect until midnight. We'll show that to you. And let's zoom in a little bit here. And so again, this is the area of spin that we're watching. And so again, this is Ford County, Throckmorton County, severe thunderstorm warnings here in yellow till 5. And so again, this continues to track off east and northeast. Fairly slow now at only 20 miles per hour. So again, you can see where the red dots are. Our guys are in position, and basically we're just going to continue to kind of watch this and watch the trend. So this has kind of been the history of this storm. It's kind of ramped up a little bit, ramped down a little bit, and then again, like I mentioned, probably about 25 minutes ago or so, just due south of Seymour. Again, that's where we had that possible brief spin up. Let's go. Let's actually go back to, let's go to velocities actually. Let's go and take a look within the storm. And so again, we're still getting this fairly strong inbound wind. So again, radar being up here, this is inbound and green into the radar, but the return flow not looking as impressive as it was. So the area of red would be wind moving away from the radar. Again, the radar being up there to the north. So again, that's the area of spin. You're seeing it right there in real time. It's just not as impressive as it was, again, maybe 25 minutes ago when we had the brief spin. And so we're still continuing to see that even with the new sweep coming in there. So there's still an area of rotation. There's still an area we need to watch. Let's also look at the hail core tracker here too, Josh, if we can. And as we do that, the hail core not looking anywhere nearly as impressive. And a lot of times the hail core is a good indication of a mesocyclone. You have a healthy, strong mesocyclone, the hail cores get bigger. As the mesocyclone begins to kind of diminish and weaken, the hail cores will get smaller. And it looks like that's what we're seeing here. Now, this could just be a moment in time, or this could be a longer trend. But again, we'll watch that carefully. Let's switch radars, and I want to zoom out one more time. And again, I just want to keep everyone up to date with what's going on. Again, we're talking about up here in our northwestern counties. And again, we're watching what's going on down here in the Metroplex as well. And so I just want to zoom it out. So again, here's the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And let's zoom in real quick here, Josh. And we had a few showers trying to develop, but they've basically fizzled here in the Metroplex. You can still see a few out here, out around the Weatherford area, out there along I-20. Couple showers, nothing concerning there, folks, at all. Metroplex, again, still right now all dry. So evening commute, right now looking all dry again here in the Metroplex. It's about a 30% probability we might have a scattered shower or thunderstorm develop, okay? But right now it's all dry. So again, everything we're watching here, it's all off to the northwest. And as we move the radar back out there, it's essentially from the Wichita Falls area back down to the south. And again, that's where, again, we continue with that severe thunderstorm watch in effect as well. So again, there it is, area blue right there. So we're watching that. And then again, we have the severe thunderstorm warnings blinking in yellow. Now again, the only reason why we're kind of highlighting these severe thunderstorm warnings a little extra than we normally would is that these warnings here, again for Ford and Throckmorton County until 5 p.m. this evening, both of those have a tag of tornado possible on the warning, meaning a quick brief spin up cannot be ruled out. And the reason why is because in Ford County, just south of Seymour, about 30 minutes ago now, we did have a brief spin up, and we have what we call a mesocyclone here, an area of spin. Now the mesocyclone is weakening from where it was. The hail sizes are coming down. It's not looking quite as concerning as it was, but again, it's still something we're watching carefully. And again, the blinking area of yellow, that is the warning that again we're talking about there. Again, Ford and again Throckmorton County until 5 p.m. Let's go back over to the other radar. And again, Mesoscan XR, again, just really zooming in, taking a closer look at this here. Let's go back to the spin rate, if we can, Josh. And again, spin rate, this is something you only see here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. It's a Texas Weather Tracker TV exclusive, if you will. And again, this basically lets you know where, if there is an area of spin within the storm, where it is and the level that it's at. And when I say the level, meaning the intensity, whether it's kind of a broad, weak area of spin, that's colored there in the red. As you start getting into the greens, that means the spin may be tightening up some. And then as you start getting into the yellows or the pinks, that's when it becomes a little more concerning. And so the computer right now letting us know this is the area of spin. This is what, again, due south of Seymour, about 30 minutes ago, produced that brief spin up. Again, it was only lasted about 10 seconds, but it was a brief spin up. But this is still it. It's holding together, but it's just nowhere near as strong as it was. So this is what the computer is telling us. Let's go over to velocities. Let's see the raw data here. So this is the raw data with the storm. Now, the one thing I can tell you here, even though the hail core is getting smaller, it looks like this is kind of weakening down. This area, the whole area, if you will, of spin, it's kind of beginning to tighten back up now a little bit. So as opposed to maybe 5 minutes ago when we had kind of the long area of green, the long area of red, where we had this broad area of spin, this doesn't look overly concerning at this second, but it is kind of tightening back up some. And again, we were also seeing that there on the spin rate as well. So again, that's a heads up to Joe and to also Chris. Again, our storm trackers, both of them to the east of the storm, eyes on it. The only problem is they're just so rural out here. There's just simply nothing out here that, again, we're having trouble getting their video in. But I want to check back in with both of them. Joe, you're right there. And I believe, Joe, you're now coming in there to Olney, if this looks correct. And I think we've got your video up, Joe. In fact, I think we've got both of your videos up. So, Joe, first of all, we've got your video. I think you're in Olney. Your video's kicked in now. Give us an update from your location. That mesocyclone, that area spin, it's still off to your northwest. It's hard to see there, but give us an update from where you are.
Okay, so yeah, I just came through downtown Albany, heading westbound, trying to come out from under the rain. Got some pretty good heavy rain. Got some pretty good water on the highways here. Got some light, a little bit of lightning starting to pick up a little bit and around us. Haven't really seen any cloud to grounds, but I have seen some flashes kind of in the cloud. Still, the cloud deck's pretty low. When I was coming into town, I could see the windmills, and all I could see was the bottom blade sticking out. But yeah, so I'm passing through. Once I get on the outside of Albany, I'm probably going to pull over and wait for this area of rotation to move toward us. Back to you in the studio, William.
Okay, Joe, really appreciate that to update. What I want to do, I want to switch over to Chris. Chris, we've got your video coming in here as well. And I believe you're back down towards Archer City now. So again, we continue to watch this storm. And by the way, so this was a confirmed tornado. So the Weather Service has now confirmed it. And again, it was just south. It was just south of Seymour. And so this is about 35 minutes ago. We'll show it to you coming up where it was, not the video of it, but where it was. But again, this is a confirmed report now from the Weather Service in Norman. And so that's why we continue to track this storm carefully. Again, it continues to be severe thunderstorm warned, but there is a tag on it, a special tag saying tornado possible. So that's why we're tracking this carefully. And again, like I mentioned, we have 2 storm trackers in the field. This is the only place you're seeing this anywhere in Texas. I can guarantee you that right now. So Chris, you're on the live line with us. We've got your video kicked in here. Give us an update. Tell us where you are now.
Right now, I'm currently just north of Archer City, around the FM 210 Highway 25 area north of town. Right now, we're getting some light rain, some flashes of lightning at this current time, and basically just waiting on this thing to move in. I mean, it's being stubborn, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Chris. It's just kind of hanging. It's just kind of hanging there together. So we're going to keep monitoring your video. I think the video is stable. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of switch this around, and we're going to take a look at this shot here. And what I want to do, so we've got the guy's video. We're going to leave it up. Again, they were just so rural. We were having trouble keeping it up, but now we've got it. So Archer City, and this is Olney. So this is Joe. This is Chris's video here. We're tracking those carefully. And so what we're looking at here, I know this is really hard to see now, but back in time, again, we're taking you back about 35 minutes ago from where the Weather Service confirmed this brief spin-up tornado. Okay, so this right up here is Seymour. This is 183 here. If you're familiar with the area, you know where I'm talking about. This little icon right here, that's the tornado icon. That's where the brief spin-up was. It's right there. Seymour, 183. Tornado icon. Again, this was 35 minutes ago. Again, it was just a brief spin up. We don't have any damage reports. This was nothing major. But again, just as we're going through this, again, as we're talking about these storms, there's rotation, there's mesocyclones. We like to verify what we're talking about. That lets you know that we're not just kind of saying and throwing all this stuff out here, that again, we're verifying what we're talking about as well. And you're also holding us accountable for what we're saying too. And again, keep in mind this report right there, that was from the National Weather Service. But again, so that's the latest with that. Let's take this back into real time now. So again, that was 35 minutes ago, maybe 40 minutes ago now. So now we moved it ahead in time. And let's zoom this in just a little bit, Josh. And as we look at this, again, we still have an area of spin. And so this is Ford County, this is Throckmorton County. So officially severe thunderstorm warning continues here until 5 o'clock. Again, trackers on this, the red dots, the red GPS dots, there's Joe's, there's Olney. And so again, with the GPS dot, there's his live video. You see it coming in right there. So again, he's got eyes on it. And then right back up here in Archer City, that's where Chris is. And again, there's his video. So again, only people in Texas. You're not seeing this anywhere else. Again, severe thunderstorm warning here. And again, you're seeing two different live storm tracker feeds, one from the north, one from the south on this storm. Again, brief tornado spin up 40 minutes ago, again, south of Seymour. So let's go back over to velocities here. So now we're looking at just basically the raw data within the storm, the raw wind flow here within the storm. And let's zoom this in just a little bit, Josh. And the way it looks right now, it really looks like this is beginning to weaken on down from where it was. So you can still see where the area of spin is right there. And so green, the color green, is wind towards the radar. This radar is up around Wichita Falls. So green is up towards the radar. Red is cutting back down and around. It's nowhere near as impressive as it was, again, 30, maybe 40 minutes ago when we had that brief spin up. But again, that's still where the area of spin is. Again, just not looking as impressive. Let's quickly hit the hail core tracker as well. Whenever you're dealing with an area of spin, you can always, a lot of times, use the hail core tracker to look and see how big the hail core is. As they start getting smaller, a lot of times that is a sign of a diminishing mesocyclone or a diminishing area of spin. And as it turns out in this case, the hail core tracker just nowhere near, again, as impressive as it was earlier. So again, right now it looks like this storm again continues to weaken down. Let's go back over to reflectivity. And so reflectivity is just normal radar mode. Let's go and kind of zoom this out a little bit. And as we do that, we'll just zoom it on out. And so again, we're talking about our northwestern counties. So again, here's Wichita Falls up in here. And again, we're basically talking about Ford and Throckmorton County. Again, just in real time to let you know, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex would be right back down in here. Okay, so this is northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Nothing going on in DFW right now. It's cloudy, but right now the evening commute is completely dry. Our coverage area goes all the way out here to Wichita Falls to Vernon, kind of out here to the northwestern fringes, right, of North Texas. And again, that's also, again, where we have our storm trackers here live as well. I want to check back in with them. Again, we've really got their video coming in. Again, it's just so rural out there. We've had trouble keeping their video in. But guys, you're still in the live line. We'll start with Joe. We're looking at their video, and then we're going to take a look at a time of arrival coming up here in a second that Josh put together. Joe, we've got you on the live line. We've got your video here. Give us an update there from Olney.
Okay, so I'm sitting on the east side of town, just on the side of the road, watching the rain a little bit. We do got some rain. Not really seeing much in the way of lightning. It's still, low cloud deck. Still a little hard to tell any cloud features at this level. We're just going to kind of sit here, maybe work our way toward McGargle here shortly. Looks like that area rotation may head that direction, or may pass somewhere between Olney and McGargle. Other than that, not really a whole lot going on besides some rain and some wet roads out here. Back to you in the studio, William.
Okay, really appreciate that. Good job, Joe. And let's go and also check in with Chris, and he's up around the Archer City area. And so Chris Barrow is also on the live line here with us. Chris, it looks like some heavier rain also moving in now to your area too. And Chris, I'll tell you, it looks like kind of that core where at least we've had the area of spin, what did produce the brief spin up, that's really going to be coming right up over you where your GPS is, where your live GPS dot is. Again, right now the overall mesocyclone is spinning down significantly from where it was, but that actual area of spin, Chris, is actually going to come directly up over you, so it will be interesting to watch that at least too. There's Chris's video. We may even take his full, but Chris, that's coming right up into your area. Go and give us an update from your location.
Well, right now the lightning intensity, William, is currently increasing by the few minutes. I mean, right now we still getting some light rain occurring here north of Archer City, and again, just some wet roads and some wet grass. I mean, and temperatures in the 50s. Back to you, William.
Yeah, and I know it's really kind of hard to see with what's coming in. It's just a lot of rain coming on in. Let's go and take this live, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the ETA here coming on in, and we're going to get back to the video. We'll switch that over. And so just a couple times of arrival here. So Archer City, 511, basically here just within a few minutes. And then also Holiday, 511 as well. And then again, if all this holds together, Wichita Falls right around 522. And again, so you can see the general motion here, the timeline of the storms here right here. So this path, see that yellow right there? So that's the general timeline. There's Wichita Falls there. There's Archer City here. And so again, Holiday would be right back up in here. So again, 511 Archer City, 511 Holiday. And then again, if everything essentially holds together the way it is right now, 544, the general Wichita Falls area. And so again, we're going to continue to track this. Like I said, right now, severe. In fact, we've only had severe thunderstorm warnings, but the biggest deal was, again, we did have that brief spin up, again, just south of Seymour. And again, you can see the tags that the National Weather Service, Norman, has put on this storm specifically, tornado possible. But again, the overall indications here in the forecast center, the overall mesocyclone is weakening from where it was earlier. So right now, these warnings are essentially for some 60-mile-per-hour winds and some quarter to maybe $half size hail. But again, the overall hail core really look to even be diminishing with that storm as well. So again, we're tracking this. As we all know, things can change back and forth, but at least right now, again, that's the way it looks right now, again, here in the forecast center. And of course, like I said, we've got the guys up there, our team of trackers. Again, you're not seeing this anywhere else in Texas. And again, as we go through severe weather season, this is the one thing you'll see differently here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. We don't just present you with radar, but we have Texas's #1 storm tracking team, experienced storm trackers in the field, and they live stream their video in, and again, also report back to us as well. So again, in real time, we'll be covering all the weather across North Texas, again, as we go through severe weather season. And again, even up here in a fairly rural part of northwestern North Texas, again, hard to even get cell phone signal. Again, we've got 2 trackers up there, and again, we're doing it live. So again, just an example, again, of what you'll see here on Texas Weather Tracker TV. So let's go and zoom this out one more time. We'll take, you can, either one you can zoom out, and then what we'll do, I'm just going to switch this around, and either one you want to take, we'll zoom it out. Again, we'll just take a look down in the Metroplex one more time. And again, right now, everything looking fairly quiet. So everything we've been dealing with, again, it's all been up here in the northwest portion of our forecast area. And so again, back here in the Metroplex, again, everything quiet. Again, we had a couple showers that tried to develop maybe about an hour or so ago now, and those have basically fizzled. We're watching this little boundary you're seeing right there. This is essentially a warm front. It's stalled across the area, and a lot of times along a warm front, you can get showers, especially later on in the day, and potentially even a couple rumbles of thunder to develop along it. And again, you can see that just basically south there of the Metroplex, but at least right now, nothing substantial, again, developing along that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll pick our coverage coming up here in just about 5 minutes or less. Keep it here with Texas Weather Tracker TV. We'll keep you up to date with the latest live weather information for North Texas.
Stay with Texas Weather Tracker TV throughout the day for continuing coverage. Online, on the app, and on TV.